September 2025. Artificial intelligence is no longer a laboratory experiment. It's here, screening resumes, generating images, simulating voices, and even serving as companions to millions of Americans. And now, lawmakers are scrambling. Every state in the union has introduced AI bills this year, over 1,000 in total. Some target deepfakes, others demand transparency, and California is weighing whether to force safety tests on the largest, most powerful AI systems ever built. At the same time, Washington has shifted course. In October 2023, President Biden signed Executive Order 14,110, emphasizing caution and oversight. But Trump revoked it on his first day in office, January 20, 2025, and replaced it 3 days later on January 23, 2025, with Executive Order 14,179 that tells agencies to accelerate adoption and strip away barriers. Suddenly, the federal government is not asking how to slow AI down, but how to speed it up. It feels unprecedented. Yet history tells us America has been here before. Radio in the 1920s, television in the 1950s, the internet in the 1990s. Each time, lawmakers stumbled toward regulation after chaos, often too late. The question now is whether AI will follow the same path, or whether the United States will finally act before crisis forces its hand. This is not a distant policy debate. It is unfolding in real time. In Sacramento, California lawmakers passed a bill that would require rigorous safety tests for what they call frontier AI models, systems so large and powerful that misuse could cause catastrophic harm. Governor Gavin Newsom now holds the decision in his hands. Just a year ago, he vetoed a similar bill, but the pressure this time is stronger. Meanwhile, in Washington, Senator Ted Cruz has introduced the Sandbox Act, a law that would do the opposite. Give startups the right to operate outside existing rules for as long as 10 years. Supporters argue that this freedom is essential to keep America ahead of China and Europe. Critics warn it would open the door to reckless experimentation. Federal agencies are not standing still. The Federal Trade Commission has launched sweeps against companies making false AI claims and has opened inquiries into so-called AI companions, chatbots designed to mimic intimacy, which regulators fear could manipulate vulnerable users. The Department of Justice has reminded agencies that discrimination by algorithm is still discrimination under the law, and across the country, states are writing their own rules. In 2025 alone, lawmakers introduced more than 1,000 AI-related bills and passed just over 100. Deepfake laws have been the most successful, with Washington and Pennsylvania making it a crime to create forged digital likenesses for fraud or harassment. Colorado is preparing a comprehensive law covering high-risk AI in jobs, housing, and healthcare. The result is a patchwork. Citizens in one state may be protected from AI fraud, while those across the border are not. Companies may comply with one law in Texas, only to face a different requirement in Massachusetts. It's a system that feels messy, uneven, and uncertain, but it's also deeply American. To understand why America regulates this way, we have to look back. The pattern is clear. The United States does not regulate new technologies in advance. It waits for crisis. In the 1920s, radio was a free-for-all. Stations overlapped, signals interfered, chaos filled the airwaves. Only then did Congress pass the Radio Act of 1927, creating the Federal Radio Commission. A few years later, the Communications Act of 1934 expanded that authority, birthing the FCC and extending oversight to telephones as well. Television repeated the cycle. After it became central to politics and culture in the 1950s, lawmakers scrambled to address indecency and advertising abuses. The internet was no different. In the 1990s, a legal paradox around platform liability left a chaotic legal landscape. Congress responded with the Communications Decency Act of 1996. While most of it was struck down, Section 230 survived, creating a legal framework that shielded platforms from liability for user content and incentivized them to moderate harmful material. That provision shaped the modern internet. Social media, For years, Congress barely touched it until misinformation and foreign interference during the 2016 election forced hearings and investigations. AI has followed the same path. For decades, it was confined to labs. But in 2022 and 2023, generative AI apps burst into daily life. By 2023, the White House acted. President Biden signed Executive Order 14,110, requiring safety testing, red team evaluations, and AI officers across agencies. For a moment, it seemed America might lead with foresight. But Trump revoked that order on January 20, 2025, and then signed Executive Order 14,179 on January 23, 2025. In its place came a new vision: speed up AI, cut red tape, and expand American dominance. The old pattern repeated: safety sidelined in favor of innovation. The last 3 years have moved faster than decades of past technology debates. In 2022 and 2023, generative AI tools exploded into the mainstream. Chatbots and image generators spread to hundreds of millions of users. In October 2023, President Biden signed Executive Order 14,110. It was sweeping, mandating safety tests for large models, red team evaluations above certain thresholds, and new chief AI officers in every major agency. NIST released its AI Risk Management Framework in January 2023 and its Generative AI Profile in July 2024, setting voluntary but influential standards. On January 23rd, President Trump revoked EO 14,110 and replaced it with EO 14,179. While the shift in emphasis was dramatic, moving from risk mitigation to accelerating innovation, the new order preserved many of the previous administration's governance structures. By April, OMB followed with memos M2521 and M2522, streamlining reporting, prioritizing Buy American procurement, and even requiring ideological neutrality in federal AI contracts. In July, the White House unveiled America's AI Action Plan. It listed over 90 recommendations under 3 pillars: accelerate innovation, build infrastructure, and lead in international AI diplomacy. It even suggested restricting federal funding to states that passed burdensome AI laws. Meanwhile, Congress acted on specifics. In May, Trump signed the Take It Down Act, criminalizing non-consensual deepfake pornography and giving the FTC enforcement power. In September, Senator Cruz introduced the Sandbox Act, offering startups renewable waivers from regulations for up to 10 years. States were even busier. In 2025, they introduced more than 1,000 AI bills, with only about 100 passed, representing roughly a 10% passage rate. Deepfake legislation dominated the state-level action, with 301 bills proposed and 68 enacted, making it one of the most successful areas of AI-related policy. California lawmakers passed SB 53, a frontier model transparency bill, in September 2025, now awaiting Governor Newsom's decision, while its employment AI rules take effect in October and broader ADMT regulations in 2027. Washington and Pennsylvania criminalized forged digital likenesses. Colorado's comprehensive high-risk AI law has been delayed and now takes effect on June 30, 2026. Massachusetts has not passed a specific AI hiring bias law, but has issued an official advisory clarifying that existing consumer protection and anti-discrimination laws apply to the use of AI systems in hiring. Globally, the race is fierce. Europe finalized the AI Act. China invested $98 billion annually in state-backed AI. Analysts now see 3 possible futures: U.S. dominance at 30%, a U.S.-China bipolar split at 40%, or a multipolar world with Europe and India joining at 25%. By fall 2025, AI regulation is no longer abstract. It is a political battleground. The confusion around AI regulation has created myths that need clearing up. One myth says AI is unregulated. In reality, old laws already apply. Civil rights statutes govern hiring bias. Consumer protection laws apply to fraud. FTC rules cover deception. Another myth says there's a single federal AI law. There isn't. America has a patchwork: executive orders, OMB memos, voluntary NIST standards, state laws, and agency enforcement. Some argue states cannot regulate AI, but history shows otherwise. California's privacy law influenced tech globally. Today, states are leading on deepfake bans and employment AI rules. Another myth insists regulation kills innovation, but guardrails often build trust. Cars became safer with seatbelts. Pharmaceuticals gained credibility through FDA trials. And the final myth claims Congress will soon pass a sweeping AI law. The truth is, political divides and industry lobbying make that unlikely. Incremental sector-specific laws are far more realistic. The facts are clear. AI in America is not lawless, but it is governed by a messy patchwork that is still evolving. So what can America do? One option is federal preemption, a sweeping national law overriding state rules. But gridlock makes that unlikely. Another is sector-specific regulation. Agencies already govern finance, healthcare, and defense. AI could be regulated the same way, domain by domain. The sandbox approach, favored by Senator Cruz, would shield startups from rules so they can experiment. California, by contrast, is pushing frontier model safety testing, forcing big systems through evaluations before release. Voluntary standards also play a role. NIST's frameworks are respected worldwide, but without enforcement, they rely on goodwill. Then there is procurement. The federal government is the nation's largest customer. If it demands AI systems meet certain standards, companies will comply nationwide. Finally, targeted laws like the Take It Down Act can address specific harms without sweeping reforms. The reality is that America's path will likely blend all of these: patchwork, incremental, reactive. But each choice will shape the balance between innovation and safety for decades to come. Artificial intelligence is the fastest-moving technology America has ever faced. Radio chaos took years to prompt rules. The internet sparked lawsuits over a decade. AI reached the halls of Congress in less than 3. Today, states write their own laws. The federal government accelerates adoption. Congress remains divided. Agencies improvise. The question isn't whether AI will be regulated. It's who writes the rules, and when. Will America wait for a crisis, an election scandal, a catastrophic misuse to force its hand? Or will it learn from history and set guardrails first? History suggests one answer, but the choice is still open. If this video gave you a new perspective on America's AI debate, subscribe to History That Matters and share your thoughts. Should the US move faster on AI guardrails or protect innovation first? Because this isn't just about Silicon Valley. It's about jobs, elections, and the nation's role in the world.